everyone! I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the Monster Mash event in which the Werewolf and Villager are added to the game. You can see that the icon is actually messed up. The developers, I believe, are on vacation for this whole week. Most of them are, I don't know. But they won't be around for a while, so there are a couple problems that actually came up with this that they probably won't be fixing until later in the week. For one, there's that. The other is both of these have the incorrect minor trait stone. But anyways, aside from those things, let's go over the two new troops, which are essentially just one troop due to the unique mechanic that they have. What they do is they actually transform into each other. The Villager transforms into the Werewolf, and the Werewolf transforms into the Villager. And they can just keep looping back and forth over and over again, particularly with the Villager, because the Villager converts all yellows to brown and then of course transforms. But the Werewolf itself also uses brown, so the brown or the yellow to brown transform that it does can also give Werewolf all of its mana back. Unfortunately, you can't just keep looping. The Werewolf does not create the Villager's mana, so it does have like a stop within it. But if you put it with something like Apothecary, you'll be able to keep looping it. But as far as traits are concerned, not particularly good. Stealthy can come in handy. It'll make sure it doesn't get targeted. The Villager has Stealthy, and the Werewolf has Agile, which is to dodge skulls. So that combination, you can kind of switch from being counter to spells to counter to skulls, which is kind of interesting that you can do with it as well. And other than that, immune to disease, barely anything diseases, so you barely use that. Alert, barely anything uses silence. That is somewhat nice, just to make sure he doesn't get silenced though, but there's barely anything that uses it currently in the game. But that is the Villager. It is a common, so fairly easy to get even after this event. And the Werewolf is an epic, so going to be a bit harder after the event, but it is a monster beast. One thing to note is they're both actually monster beasts, even though, or not monster beasts, but they're both monsters, I mean. The human is still considered a monster since it's kind of like possessed by it, or transforms to it, whatever. But anyways, the Werewolf deals damage to an enemy, converts purple to blue, and that's boosted at a 1-to-1 ratio is damage based on how many are converted over. And of course, it transforms back into a Villager. So that 1-to-1 ratio is going to be pretty high. When I said earlier, you can use Apothecary with it. The green-blue troop that creates brown from Kazel. That troop would be pretty good since it will be able to loop pretty much endlessly with these things, because the Villager will be able to brown feed the Werewolf. The Werewolf will be able to blue feed the Apothecary, and then Apothecary just casts, gives it all of the Villager its mana back, and you kind of just keep looping it over and over again from there. As far as traits, they're fairly average, nothing like outstanding. It is an epic, of course, so it doesn't have any unique traits. Cursed, it's somewhat good with other Golvania troops because quite a few of them have Cursed as well, particularly with Crimson Bat if you have it fully traded. Regeneration isn't really going to do much because you have to keep in mind when they convert back and forth, they actually go back to their base stats whenever they do that. So any buffs that they have or debuffs are going to be completely removed. So that'll be beneficial in most instances as long as you're not using a buff team, since any kind of damage they have or any kind of negative stats effects, whenever they convert, they're all going to be off of the troop. But it can also backfire, so you can't really use buffing troops that well with either of these, because if you do, well, they're just going to go back to normal stats as soon as they convert back out. The regeneration doesn't really do much, but Agile definitely will. Werewolf you'd likely use, or either of these you'd likely use in either your first or second slot due to how well they can tank, due to just going back to normal whenever they convert. So other than that, Agile is basically the only good trait, and of course it costs a lot of trait stones to be able to do that. I would advise using the brown purple on things like Bone Dragon, or essentially anything other than the Werewolf, maybe even the Bunny Nog. But it is a very unique troop and definitely has a lot of potential. One last thing to mention about the Villager before I do go into the code is, if I'm not mistaken, he does gain magic, so I believe the level of which he transforms is based on his magic. So let's give out the redeem code real quick for today. WTID 3K AE 8D. And that gives the normal reward of 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Let's just use that gem key real quick. Or actually, I think I have a whole stack from the guild. I'll do those later in a different guild, in a different video then. But anyways, I don't need to do a kingdom showcase. Normally I do, but we already did Golvania, so I'll probably just post the link to that other video if you wish to see it. I know some newer players like to see all of me go over like all of the troops per kingdom, but I already did that for this one, so I'll just link the video. I know some of you don't because it takes like so much time out of the video that I'm not using to show builds. So let's actually show builds. First, we're gonna go with a early game build. Of course, we are using a Crimson Bat, which is a legendary, not so early game. But one reason I actually put this in for today, well, for one, there aren't any other red-blue monsters because we're doing this to be able to get the magic bonus and the Golvania bonus. We're getting +2 magic. We're getting a bunch of other stats with it as well, which are going to be really helping us out a lot. 3 armor, 3 life. And you could replace this out with essentially any other monster and just run with this team. But of course, Crimson Bat would be best. I did want to show something for earlier game that has stat bonuses, though, due to how good stat bonuses are earlier on in the game. One thing to note is that Golvania actually does have only legendaries, or only one legendary, which is Crimson Bat. So similar to last week, if you do use your event keys, the only legend that can possibly drop is Crimson Bat because it's the only legend currently in Golvania. So if you really want a Crimson Bat, this week is definitely the week to spend some event keys if you happen to have it, or a couple gems on them if you want to test your luck. But anyways, let's get into this battle. I'll be doing a whole separate video on Crimson Bat, but let's get into this first battle. So we definitely have that magic boost right from the start, as you saw there. That's going to be helping us out a lot, particularly with the Crimson Bat, but also with the there was brown there I didn't take, but mostly with the Werewolf as well. Werewolf and Crimson Bat are going to be benefiting from it the most. Something else that you'd also benefit from if you were using this team and you were lower level, since it's magic, I'm almost for sure that his magic is the level of the Werewolf we summons. Of course, mine's already at max, so I can't really know for sure. I almost know for sure it is. But if you were a lower level, you might not have this at 20 due to the lack of upgraded kingdoms. So having that 2 extra magic will definitely help you get your Werewolf up to a max summon. So right here, we are going to take brown. I do want to get off that convert. And anything extra that we take is just going to bleed into our Werewolf.
Mana surge.
Yep, I just gave it brown. Luckily, it's just going to freeze us, though. And we got really lucky there. It froze both of our converting troops. And whenever they do their transform, as you're about to see, they'll actually debuff that off of them. If I can just get a brown. Oh, come on, don't cleanse it off. No, I can't show it until he gets refrozen. But if he takes damage, I'll be able to show the same exact premise. And this team would be pretty good at just keeping them down. You have the Mana Core, which is very, very popular right now, especially if you can get it traded, because it has both Impervious and Empowered, the only troop in the entire game with that combo. Plus, he is giving a bonus to monsters, as you can see, allied monster bonds, so he's even giving HP to all of them as well. So right here, we could take the first convert. It is on yellow, though, which we will not be getting extra turn from, though we're frozen on it anyways, so it wouldn't have even mattered.
Mana surge. Mana surge.
And let's see. Okay, it looks like as long as this one doesn't get undone, we'll be able to show it then. Oh, and we even get the extra turn. So we'll use this one. You can see he has armor damage and that he's frozen. Well, we're going to use this. We can choose what we want. I'll probably go for Valkyrie, just most annoying. And as you can see, after it does that, it doesn't have any damage. It doesn't have the frozen that was just on it. It just removes everything. And now it's back to normal. So that is a very, very interesting mechanic that you can use to keep tanking with it. Of course, it doesn't have like stone skin or anything like that, but the fact that it has agile on 1 and it can just keep replenishing itself back to max stats like that, or base stats I should say, is really good. Plus, whenever it resummons like that, it does reclaim all of these bonuses that you get. It doesn't just go away, it actually regains them just like any other summon. So that is also really nice on it. We'll take blue right here. Get up Crimson Bat and just tick it down that way. Waiting until we get alignment for the werewolf before I recast it. Though I might just have to do it regardless. Oh, well, we can get some mana from it. Let's use that to take out the Queen Mab that has the most mana. Of course, we're getting 1 additional damage per purple that it converts out to blue. So he is also this troop, or I should pretty much just consider this 1 troop. It's essentially 1 troop, even though it's 2. You have to level 2, but you loop back and forth, so it's kind of 1. But I forgot what point I was just about to make. Oh, it would be good with things like Rainbow Snake and particularly Giant Spider as well, which is what I'm going to be using for the next team we're going to be showing.
Mana Surge.
So he'll use Queen Mab. Of course, it won't hit our Mana Core because it has Impervious. Nothing hits that. I don't believe this is enough damage to kill. Oh wait, never mind. Wait, that's not even the. I don't know why. I just thought that was the werewolf for some reason. But we'll just take Brown. Now we have 2 of them that can convert back. They don't really do much if there's not much on the board. Like after the first one converts, use it. This is the only bad thing about using 2 of them. Is now the second one has no yellow on the board to be able to use, and not many teams can really replenish it like that. Like you can see, if we try using this again, there's no yellow that we'll really be able to do. We'll just be converting those 2. And that won't really do anything. But anyways, I will be able to finish off with that Crimson Bat cast. Of course, Crimson Bat's getting 2 extra magic because we're using 3 Golvania and 4 monsters. So that's what helped him kill them out real quick. So let's go into the other 2 teams. The other one is, despite having them both marked as early game, this next build is probably more towards early game, more so than this one, since it does not use a legendary. Hardest thing to get probably on this team would be the werewolf itself, if you were watching this past this event, or Creeping Death, which is 250 wins on the Necromancy class, which you unlock from completing the Kedar bonus quest line. But as you can see, we're using the Giant Spider. We're going to be using Valkyrie. Of course, we want that Valkyrie soul farm. That will be helping us be able to get souls to upgrade things. We're going to be using the werewolf up front as a tank. If the werewolf somehow dies, we'll have Giant Spider making little spider spawns there. And of course, Creeping Death, which is going to be our main damage source. You would want to use this with the Sorcerer class. I am currently using it with not the Sorcerer class, just because I don't want to have to spend the gems to keep switching classes. But let's get into this. So we're up against pretty much all mythics and a Geralt, I mean. Luckily, like the previous team, we are using all the colors. It is really good when making teams to try using all 6 colors if you can, because those will, of course, you'll be able to take any mana just to be able to fill yourself up. I do not want to convert out browns here, and actually, nor purple if I can try to help it. But overall, there's not really anything I can really do, so let's just take that. He'll take some green, trigger his famine thing. I mean, plague. Green, still nothing. Red, nothing. Wow, we really don't have much that we can do on this board, so I guess we'll just keep ticking at the mana until we can actually get a convert or something off to really get this team going. Yarrow about to cast. You can get a brown there. Nope. Is there really still nowhere that we can get a convert? I don't think there is. So let's hope for brown surge, or do we take this? Let's just take that. Go for the purple surge. Go get that down. Oh, one other thing to note, which I just noticed. Werewolf is actually really, really good against Plague, because Plague has that 3 remove from any stats to the first, to the troop in first, and he has 2 of them. Well, as soon as we convert, we're just gonna have all of our stats back. So everything it's doing is almost useless for the most part. So let's convert out these reds. This will also make sure that our werewolf has more blues on the board that I'll be able to use for the convert. Unfortunately, there doesn't appear to be a good location for that, so we'll take those blues like that. I was hoping we could get some kind of purple alignment here. We did not get any, so I'm just going to have to take these purples. I don't want to give him a bunch of purples. That will give him his plague ability. So we'll just do that. He does have a famine up now, which is not good. But we'll be able to bait out a skull. We'll be all the purples that we take right there will be able to take that out. So let's try damaging him. See if we can just get him down. I don't believe we're going to be able to get it all the way down before he can cast, though. But he'll just waste his turn on skulls right here. And hopefully we can get a giant spider cast off. If not... nope, I don't think we can. That is a bit of a problem this match then, because our famine might end up killing our villager. Blue's pointless. Oh no, blue's not pointless though. Though we kind of need to make sure we don't convert blue, but in this particular instance, I think it's worth doing. We could take the purple there for the skull. He's just gonna famine though, so we might as well disability. Come on, creeping death, kill it. Nope. Or I meant death mark. Also, one good thing, actually, he can't kill our villager. I almost forgot. Our villager does have stealthy if you have him fully traded, which are pretty easy to do since he's common. And because of that, he can actually aim at it with the famine. So from here, I do want to try getting the villager up, but if we take those browns, he's just going to take those skulls. So I guess we'll just have to go for purple and skull.
Mana surge.
I do actually have to keep taking skulls just to make sure our villager does not die. Though if it does die, that's not too big a deal. We'll be having the giant spider that'll make a little spider in its place. But if we can get the convert off, that'll be even better, because then even though he's almost dead, we'll still be able to get a full-blown werewolf as if the match just started. So again, we'll have to take these skulls. No way around it. Hopefully we can get a brown drop. Nope. At least he's not taking brown. That's helping us some. And he just got the burn cleanse off him. So if we can just get another brown, we'll have a full-blown werewolf there. Perfect. Thank you very much, AI. And there we go. Unfortunately, we might be giving him a lot of mana from doing this. I don't see any extra turns from that, but at least we'll have a normal werewolf. As you can see, he was almost dead. Now we have a full werewolf. And of course, he creates a bunch of brown, which the werewolf can now use. We got 3 on it, then we got that 10 times on the following turn. Whoa, we even got an extra turn there. That's nice. We could take that extra turn, but I'm almost leaning towards this one just because we'll be able to get enough skull damage to kill it. Plus, we'll get Valkyrie up and our giant spider up. So for only giving him 4 green, we got all of that. So that was definitely worth it. Oh, and we gave him some brown. Oh, well. At least the skulls are there, so he's not going to get the famine off quite yet. But he is going to get that off, and there is no way I can stop that at all. I could convert this out just to make sure he doesn't kill our werewolf if I really wanted to. Because if you had like a dangerous ability, like something like a famine on the enemy team, and you have your convert up, you can just use this, and then you won't have to deal with it. Because of the extra turn, I think I will use it, but I do want to get off a... Or I want to get off this. Oh, did I just ruin the alignment? I think I might have. No, I didn't. Good. So I wanted to get that off first just so we can have Creeping Death. We use this. That will give us our extra turn and our damage for the convert. That was actually, I think, enough damage. No, it wasn't. If we were using the Sorcerer class, it would have been. But because we're not, we are a couple of damage short. We're going to survive with 3 HP. And Death Mark doesn't kill him, of course. Okay, so all we have to do at this point is just get our mana back up, and that will pretty much be the match. Especially if we can get that Death Mark trigger. Of course, we can't get Death Mark on the Plague because of his Impervious. He actually got his first ability off all match right there. Luckily, that didn't stop us from being able to get up our Valkyrie, which we will hopefully be able to use on something good. I do want to try keeping up these, though I don't think I'll be able to, so let's just convert out the yellow. That'll give us our giant spider back up. And then we can just get our Creeping Death back up. Oh, wow. That denied a lot of more mana from that than I thought it would. Well, we just killed it with only 13 attack. Okay, we'll take this. How is Creeping Death still not up? I understand it stops 50%, but that seems like a lot more than 50% right now. Then again, I don't normally see that mechanic, so maybe I'm just overestimating how much of that, or underestimating how much it actually blocks from us. We can take those blues, and actually I think I might now because we just got our giant spider up. As you can see, we have like almost 0 attack on everything. Luckily, our villager is pretty much immune to that because he can just keep converting back and forth. So even things like Plague and other troops that really reduce your attack down to almost, or your stats down to almost nothing. The villager can just keep looping back and forth and always be able to keep his stats high. As you can see, he's been almost dead probably 2 or 3 times this battle. Yet, if we can get the brown, he'll be right back up to normal. I'll take blue here. Probably going to start taking browns. If he does, I need to rush him. I need to rush out the famine to make sure he does not get a cast off. And only 1 more brown surge will help with that.
Mana surge.
Yep, there we go, death mark. Don't need to worry about it. Finally, we death marked so many times this battle, and that was the first time we actually got a kill with it. Oh good, he didn't take brown right there. Though nor can we, because he moved it incorrectly. So we'll just take purple again. Got our giant spider up, that'll give us creeping death, and that should be enough damage for the win. Though that take that he just took will stop that. So here we go, villager for like, what is this? Like this 5th, 6th time this battle? We can get a convert off if we wanted to, and I think I will. We have a extra turn right there. You'll be able to see he gets all his mana back, or quite a bit. Or yep, all his mana back from that. 3 skulls, done. And you can see he's all the way back up at the max stats as if he just started off the battle. The only thing he doesn't re-trigger every single time is his curse trait. So let's show one last team before we wrap it up for this video. Something more towards a late game team, because we will be using a mythic in it. War particularly. Of course, I mentioned Apothecary earlier. Werewolf, Apothecary, Valkyrie combo. Very strong trifecta that you can put with pretty much any mythic that uses both brown and blue, which I believe currently is just War, which is why we're using War. So let's try this out against this team. Just double check. Yeah. I don't know what I was doing right there. Actually, I do know what I was doing. I was checking Valkyrie mana. I hate whenever I do a video and I forget what banner I take, and I'm taking, it's like, which banner did I set my Valkyrie to for the extra mana? Because any troop that has 10 mana or a kind of odd number like that, you normally have to put a +1 banner to. The main ones that you would do this for is any troop that has a 7, 10, or 11 mana cost. You normally want to have a +1 mana on one of their colors that is not blocked by any other troop, just so you can get their ability up much quicker. Because if you don't, there will be a lot of instances in which you are 1 mana short, and setting the banner accordingly is how you can counter that. Well, we can actually let him take skulls. We just saw that the first time that Agile triggered this video. Of course, if you have it fully traded, as a 20% chance that skulls will not do anything to it. So we'll convert out the yellow right here. We're not using villager, so we don't need those yellows quite yet. We also have our Valkyrie set to red instead of yellow, so we don't really need to be taking too many yellows either. So we'll take that. Of course, we have Apothecary up, which is the main thing we're going to be using to loop with our Werewolf Villager combo. Unfortunately, the board is not set up for us to do that, so we'll get up Valkyrie. That's exactly why we set up the banner. If we didn't, actually, we would have gotten that. Since we got 2 surges, we would have gotten that regardless, but in case one of them didn't surge, or both of them didn't surge, I mean. Okay, so red won't do anything. Blue won't do anything. Nothing will do anything. So I guess we'll convert out the green, give our start giving our war mana, because we already have our Apothecary all the way up at max. We could convert out the blue right here. Not the best of ideas, but we don't really have other options right now, so I think I'm going to do that. Apothecary also has that full cleanse, which will be good against a lot of things on enemy teams. Particularly on this team, of course, it'll be taking off Korvash's stuns, which will be helping us out a pretty good deal, just to make sure we can keep our traits, like that 20% chance that we have to dodge skulls and stuff like that. So right here, we'll take some skulls. Fairly high attack on Werewolf too. Definitely not the highest in the game, but it's definitely up there as far as troops go. And we can actually just keep him right there, leave him there until he's like near death, and then just use his ability to fully get back up. So right here, I am going to use it on the Emperor Korvash. I do want the Emperor Korvash dead, because it is stopping us quite a bit with the fact that it has stone skin. So right here, I'm just double checking for Valkyrie, and yes, we will kill it off. We're not giving it mana either, so that's also a good plus.
Mana surge.
He gives us skulls, though we do reduce skull damage now with Villager. Of course, he's only rare right now, but even a fully upgraded Villager, I think, I didn't check the exact numbers, but I think it's like 6 or 7 attack lower than the Werewolf. But of course, in place of that, it has higher HP and armor, so it won't die as easily. Because anything that has higher attack in this game tends to have, or always actually has, lower everything else. So right here, I'm actually going to go for a blue convert. The main reason for this, we could have done it on yellow as well, but I want to do the yellow with our Villager so we can actually get an extra turn. Though there is no extra turn. So that plan failed. We'll take that.
Mana surge.
There's still no extra turn. We can get mana though, and enough mana to cast, so I'm still gonna do it. Oops, I just left blues there. Should have taken that.
Mana surge.
That's my bad.
Mana
Luckily, the
surge.
cascades fixed it.
Mana surge.
We did give it brown, but it doesn't use anything with brown anymore. Oh, Scion did just steal all of our... Oh, wait, never mind. If Scion was traded, it would have stole all of our mana. I wasn't paying attention, though, and it's not traded, so that's beneficial to us. We'll use that. We'll use War. And that should be pretty near the match. One more War cast will do it. He'll take Skulls next turn. We'll hit Valkyrie. We'll convert out green. And this team is basically built around just looping over and over again for the most part. Make sure you get the max soul per match with Valkyrie, which will be very easy. And then just hitting them out with the War. So we'll convert out red.
Mana surge.
We'll take the extra turn. And should be enough mana to be able to get up our, yep, definitely, our Werewolf.
Surge.
And the
Mana
board was almost set up
surge.
for an extra turn. Those Cascades ruined it some, though. But we could just keep using Apothecary if we really wanted to. Double check board, nothing around. Let you kill out Valkyrie, and then one more cast on Mercy. We'll do it for the match. So right here, we'll convert out something like blue. That'll also reduce down to skulls, so we'll be able to get an attack off. And we'll be able to wrap it up with the... let's just do it with the Werewolf. Let's kill it off with the Werewolf ability as he transforms back into the Villager for the win. And also you have the Merchant and the extras, and the Necromancy. So you're getting 25% extra gold towards the cap, and 50% from Valkyrie towards the cap. They don't actually raise the cap, though. But yeah, that will do it for this video. Later in the week, I definitely will be doing one on Crimson Bat, as there are a lot of good Crimson Bat builds. Keep in mind, he is the only legendary in the event chest this week, so it'll be pretty easy to get. But anyways, have a wonderful day.